You can't fake that noise, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back, everyone. Old Bubs here, and today I'm joined by a very special guest and friend of the channel, Big K.
Thanks for having me.
Welcome to the Thunderdome. We are here to decide which one of my knives I truly would keep if I could only have one pocket knife. I chose my top 16 knives of my collection, and Big K has put together a bracket with agonizing matchups to force me to decide between my favorite knives like I'm picking my favorite child. I have no idea what these matchups are going to be. Frankly, I'm a little nervous and I'm over-caffeinated, so let's get after it.
The first matchup is the Benchmade readout against the Spyderco Manix.
No, this is the first matchup.
Coming in hot with the first
This is the first one. Oh my gosh. Okay. So what we got here is we have my Spyderco Manix 2 in burnt orange and Rex 45. This is without a doubt the smoothest knife I have. This thing is just ridiculous. And the Benchmade readout and CPM D2 with AWT Cerakote OD green scales that I just put on. I'm also in the middle of a test with this knife to see how CPM D2 and D2 perform against each other. So I'm getting to know it quite a bit, but this is newer to my pocket, and the Manix is one of my favorites. Rex 45 is an awesome steel. It's very similar to M4.
I tried to make this one easy for you.
I can't believe that this is a 1 seed versus an 8 seed. Like this is nuts. Okay, the Manix 2. Oh, the readout's gone already.
Sure? For our second matchup, we have the Spyderco Para 3 against the Burnley Squid 2.
No. Okay. If you guys can't tell, this is actually like seriously difficult for me. I mean, I get to keep all of these, but it's still like deciding is just agonizing. Okay. The Para 3. And to be clear here, this is not deciding between the model itself. This is like my actual knife with these Flytanium scales in titanium S45 VN. And then this is the Burnley Squid 2, which is one of my new favorite knives. It's actually like rather incredible. This is an M390 and then this frag grenade pattern. Before this, I would have said that the Para 3 is like my ultimate EDC knife.
So what's it gonna be?
If you're watching this and you're like trying to pick what a great EDC knife is, the Para 3 is without a doubt one of the best knives of all time to carry in your pocket, but I'm picking the Squid.
Oh.
The Squid 2 staying in. Oh boy.
Oh man. I feel a little bad about this one. I don't know if I could decide. For the number 3 and number 6 seed, we have the Spyderco Shaman against the Demco AD20S.
Are you actually my friend?
I think this makes it more fun for me.
Okay, so a USA Demco is a knife that I beyond coveted when I started this habit. It's a decently recent acquisition. I absolutely love it. This is in M4. And this is the 8020S, so it's the slimmer blade stock. So it's actually really slicey for what it is. And of course the Shaman. This is a Blade HQ exclusive in the OD green micarta, which actually looks more brown. Which I don't know why they did that, but this is OD green in air quotes, and also M4. So actually, like as hard as this is a really good battle because these knives are kind of fill a similar role in my imaginary EDC life where I actually need this hardcore of a knife in my everyday life. Both of these things are bruisers. They're fantastic. Okay, it's the Demco 8020S. Moving on.
Number 4 versus number 5. We have Tactile Knife Co. Rockwall versus the CJRB Pyrite.
So this is a Blade HQ exclusive in the fat carbon and S35 VN. This knife is silky. I love it. The Pyrite is an absolutely excellent model versus the Tactile Rockwall in MagnaCut, and this was a gift from my wife. You know, this is actually the easiest matchup so far. I love you, Pyrite, but the Rockwall is firmly moving forward.
Number 1 versus number 8. We have the Urban EDC 5.5 against the Demco AD 20.5.
You can't fake that noise, ladies and gentlemen. Oh boy. Okay, so this is pretty much a bone stock knife. The Urban EDC F 5.5 is a Jesper Voxnay's design, and this blade shape is just killer. This is in M390 and smooth black G10. The blackout thing, does kind of do it for me. This is my only lanyard knife too, which is kind of funny. And then this is a CPM 3V 20.5 with liner delete titanium textured scales from Rockwall Design, then a Lynch Northwest clip, purple thumb stud. This is one of my builds where it's like I put everything into it. I'm not exactly sure, but I think that I might have the most money invested into this knife of all of them. This is a really tough matchup, but it's the Urban EDC f5.5.
That's the upset. Number 8 beat the number 1.
I love the shark lock.
Wow.
I love the shark lock. That's what's so crazy. I love both of those knives so much. It's all about the matchups, folks.
We have the Spyderco PM2 against the Benchmade Bugout.
Oh! Arguably, this is like the clash of the titans of the classic EDC knives. Obviously, some people are higher on the Bugout than others. This PM2 is this teal scale S90V version. And then this Bugout is, this is my first knife that I got really serious about carrying knives and like buying better and expensive knives. This is in black critter scales from Rockwall, and it's got the purple gear backspacer. You can see that Fomascus purple pocket clip. This blade has been sharpened lots of times, so this is a Bugout that's like actually small because it's been sharpened down so many times. This knife has been used like crazy, and man, I absolutely love it. I'm a huge PM2 fan, but because it's this Bugout moves ahead.
Wow.
All right. Let the cruelty continue.
All right. We've got number 3 versus number 6. We have the Benchmade Mini Crooked River against the ProTech Malibu.
ProTech Malibu, again, another knife that like I sought after for a long time and finally got one on a drop from DLT. This is black anodized aluminum and M390. I'm a big fan of button locks, and the ProTech Malibu is the cream of the crop. It's just an excellent experience. This knife is classy through and through. This is a reverse Tonto blade shape. And the Mini Crooked River, funny enough, this is actually a knife that I was gonna get instead of that first Bugout, which I hemmed and hawed a bunch, and I eventually just went with the less expensive option of the two. And then it took me a couple of years before I actually decided to buy a Mini Crooked River. I think the Mini Crooked River is one of the best knife designs of all time, especially if you're somebody who's kind of an outdoors enthusiast and you want to carry a really nice EDC, really manageable knife that can do a whole lot of tasks. This is kind of like a classic looking knife that's trying to look like your grandpa's knife. At the same time, I absolutely love that. Both of these are fantastic knives. It's the Mini Crooked River.
Oh, wow.
Back-to-back Benchmade decisions, man.
So I did not expect that. There are some incredible knives in the losers column right now.
Yes. As you would say, it's just an honor to be here.
I think for this last matchup, we have a pretty hearty decision to be made.
All right, let's get after
Let's go. All right, for the last matchup of the first round, we have the Vero Axon and the Spyderco Yojimbo.
I forgot. I forgot that both of these were in here. If that makes it sound like I have a knife problem, that's true. One of my favorite things about Vero is that the frame lock side is the show side. Like, they are so cool looking. I joke about this knife that it looks like a spaceship and a knife got a little frisky, but I say that with the utmost affection and respect for the knife because it's awesome. This is also an M390. That blade shape is just killer for EDC. I love that knife. And then the Spyderco Yojimbo, I have been carrying this thing like crazy. And this is black and purple, which is, my favorite color scheme. It's what I wore on my wedding day. This knife is so smooth. And then I sanded the G10 to be smooth G10 purple, and then black crew wear. Props, this matchup, we got kind of a blade shape thing going. Like, you're actually picking the knife, not just the blade shape, not just the utility of it. At this point, I've been sitting in the bathroom for a mysteriously long amount of time. Time to get off the pot, and it's gonna be the Vero Axon.
Oh.
I'm sorry, wow. Spyderco. So just to recap, after the first round, I'm a huge Spyderco fan, and There were more Spyderco knives in here than any other maker, and we have one left. Before we move on to the Elite 8, I in general work my tuchus off to bring you the most fun and engaging content possible. If you're having fun, go ahead and hit that like button. And more than that, it would mean a ton to me if you'd consider subscribing to my channel. There's definitely plenty more on the way. That serves as an indicator that the content I'm making is fun and enjoyable for you. So I thank you in advance for your consideration. Without further ado, the Elite 8.
We got the Spyderco Manix against the Burnley Squid 2.
This is kind of a little bit of funky versus funky. It's like the Manix is definitely a function over form knife. Man, is it a functional tool. This is going to get real nitty gritty. The smoothest knife I own, for sure. This action is insane. The Burnley knife Squid 2 is kind of like my new love. It's a frame lock, which I really, really like. It's M390, which I really, really like. What gets really tough in this matchup is like, am I picking what's more stainless? Because M390 is certainly going to be far and above more corrosion resistant than Rex 45. This is almost like I'm picking like which steel I'm gonna go with. Yeah, I love the Burnley Squid 2. The Manix moves on.
Oh, wow. We have the Tactile Rockwall against the Demco 8020S.
There's a little bit of a size difference here. Just a little bit. And we have like a little gentleman's folder versus a Bruiser. This is actually an easier matchup, even with the sentimental value of this being a gift from my wife. If I have to be true and honest, which integrity is the #1 priority, the Demco 8020S is moving on. I love you, sweetie.
Starting on the next side of the bracket, we have this special Benchmade Bugout against the Urban EDC F5.5.
If any of you guys decide to do this on your own, I'm telling you this is harder than you think to do an elimination bracket style of your favorite knives. All I can say is I hope it never comes to this, truthfully and honestly. Might get a little choked up here. It's the F5.5.
Wow. But don't worry, next up, we have the Benchmade Mini Crooked River against the Vero Axon.
Does lock preference outweigh materials upgrade? Superior materials, design, looks versus function. There's a lot involved here that like makes this decision really, really hard. Also kind of in the back of my mind here is the amount of USA made knives that have been eliminated. Still got a lot of US in the fight. This is a crazy decision. It's the Mini Crooked River. The Mini Crooked River is going to move on there. All right, the final four.
We've actually got a pretty good matchup going right here. We have the Spyderco Manix against the Demco 8020S.
Both really fidget friendly, both smooth, both chunkers, both in a super tough and edge retentive steel. Wow. This is actually kind of a wide margin of victory, which is surprising to me. As I'm going through the mental exercise of like really which one of these would I keep if I had to get rid of the other. And the answer is the Demco 8020S. This thing is incredible.
Go back and watch his unboxing video of that. He goes bonkers for it.
It is true. That's as authentic as it can get.
We have the Urban EDC F5.5 against the Benchmade Mini Crooked River.
Oh boy, that level of smooth. And then this level of smooth. Lord, give me a hallelujah. They can't all win. This is an elimination bracket. This is, after all, a competition. Who would have thunk it? The Urban EDC F5.5 moves on.
Wow.
This blade is just too good. I can say to you with 100% certainty, this is not what I expected to be here at the end. Okay, introduce the matchup.
Not at all what I was expecting, but I'm very excited to see what happens. We have the Demco 8020S against the Urban EDC F5.5.
It's all about the matchups. It truly is. Like, it's crazy that this is what ends up being here, because now we have such different knives, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so when there were so many more knives on the table, like obviously I know I'm going to end up with a killer knife at the end of this. So it kind of like certain elements matter less than others leading into this point. But now it's under the exercise of I can only keep one knife. Things like, how does it feel in the pocket? How heavy is it? Is it a corrosion resistant steel? All those things start to become heavier and heavier in this situation. Does my excitement for it being cool like overwhelm the functionality of the tool? Yeah, I know the answer. I'm just warming myself up to being able to say it out loud because this is such a devastating decision. The answer to the question of if I could only keep one of my pocket knives, which one would it be, is the Urban EDC F5.5.
Wow. So I get to keep all the rest of them, right?
The question that we're answering is actually really important here because the question isn't what's my favorite knife? Because I think that's a different question entirely than if I can only keep one pocket knife, which one am I going to keep? And I think that this is a really good all-around option. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you'll let love and light fill your life. Stay sharp out there, everyone. We'll see you on the next one.